Welcome to the Builders of Authority podcast, a show committed to helping you build authority for your brand. In the realm of business and personal branding, authority stands as a cornerstone. Authority isn't built overnight, it's built over time. So join us as we build something remarkable together. And now, here's your host, Adam McChesney.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Builders of Authority podcast. We're live here at Adventure Unknown in Fenton, Missouri. If you're in the area, you haven't visited AU yet, I would love the opportunity to show you around, give you a tour of the amazing place, the amenities, meet some of the other members that are up here, and then also show you my new office is next door, also where we're doing the podcast, so you can meet the team at Trueline Media Group who helps make all of this stuff possible. So if you haven't been to AU or it's been a while since you've been up to AU, would love to have you as a guest and give you a tour. Today's guest is someone I've been connected to online for a while. A few months ago, he reached out and asked if we could set up a meeting. We met up here at Adventure Unknown, started talking about all the different businesses that he was in. After that conversation, we ended up starting working together on his junk removal company with their digital marketing. And even after that first meeting, we've had other conversations, and I've learned he's got a lot of different irons in the fire, has an incredible background, a lot of experience. So I'm excited to even learn more today because I probably only know the surface. So my guest today is Chris Huddleston. Chris, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Adam. Thanks for having me. It's an amazing spot, so I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Second time up here, and it just keeps getting better. Got the office next door now.
Yeah, I know. You just showed me around. It looks great. So Congratulations. And this is a very impressive setup. I like it.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you coming in. So give people kind of a quick overview, introduction, who you are, kind of what you do, all that good stuff.
Sure. So this is the hard part because I do quite a bit, and I try to keep it as in a nice between the lanes as possible. I started in business on my own doing sales, direct-to-consumer, vehicle service contracts, extended warranties, and now home warranties. I've been in that industry since 2006, started working as a sales rep, learning the business, learning how to do everything, just paid a lot of attention, try to do a little bit of safe corporate espionage, so to speak, to understand how everything worked from the back end because it's very complicated. In 2013, actually launched my own company, and that company lasted to 2022. And my partner and I, he decided he wanted to go on his own, so he did a buyout type deal. At that point, I started another doing the same thing. However, I had a non-compete, so I couldn't do auto warranty. I could only go do home warranty. So we started with homes, and we came out of the gate firing. Very, very high volume, very quickly, great team, great salespeople. Of course, we grew so fast and went at it so quickly. We had to redirect at certain points to really get the leadership team in place to make it the culture the way we want it. And that's the biggest thing. It's the most important thing to me when it comes to that business, because it's a call center atmosphere and things can go south very quickly, or it can go great very, very quickly, right? Yeah. So been doing that. That's direct to consumer. It's high risk, high reward type business. It's high stress. It's hard for me to believe there's other ways to make money sometimes, but there is. I've found out throughout the years. Yeah. So doing that, and always focused, direct marketing for those individuals. In 2023, I started the junk removal and the demolition company, which has been a great learning experience. It's a completely different type of business. We do that day in, day out. It's just, it's kind of, it is what it is, but it's not a hard thing to do better than most everybody out there if you just do what you say you're going to do. Yeah. If you answer the phone, if you do the job correctly, you don't damage people's property, you show up on time, and you charge a fair price. It's a pretty simple business. Yeah. So it's kind of a fun one. We kind of have big aspirations for that to grow to maybe max market size in St. Louis, and maybe look at other markets, things like that. So those are kind of the two core things that I work on. One really exciting development is due to the call center space. If anybody's ever been in one, and things have changed, especially since COVID, is the finding employees that want to work for a commission to earn high levels of money is very difficult, right? And so I realized this pain point maybe 2 years ago, that something shifted and it's not the same as it used to be. When I started, it was like you'd work from the start of the day to the end of the day, 12 hours a day, just to hit your bonuses and things like that. That mindset doesn't really exist much anymore. And it makes it very hard on us as the owner or the leadership team of that atmosphere. So lo and behold, AI, I keep hearing about AI, the AI voice service, AI this, AI that. And, it kept lingering. And eventually I was like, I think maybe we could create an AI agent to sell warranties, and at the time it was very crude and rudimentary as far as the technology. At the point in time, the voice engines were very harsh. They were, the patience levels were not good. It was interruptions. It was going this way when you wanted it to go this way. So anyway, long story short, we spent about 18 months developing an AI voice agent that can sell a warranty front to back, collect a credit card, do the proper legal recaps, things like that, which is incredible. It took, we got it there pretty well, but that's like, how do you get it to perform at a level that it needs to be? And once we got it dialed in, it took about 3 months to outperform humans for the most part. Now, there are a few humans out there that they're just too good. I mean, they have their own personality. They can adapt to the situation where AI can't yet. Not as good. AI's done very well at getting there. So that's a very exciting thing. So seeing this opportunity in the AI voice thing and knowing most people, back to junk, don't answer their phone. And if you missed a phone call, you missed a lead, it's speed the lead type deal.
Yeah.
So we've since created a new entity that we're providing voice service agents to, primarily home service providers, which are good. We've really focused on roofing. We focus on restoration work, tree service work. Actually driving through here today is an industrial park, if most of you probably don't know. And you can just get I'll go to target that guy, which is foundation repair now, right? So, and honestly, anybody that needs somebody to pick up the phone or work a lead via text, it's kind of where I see it going until, that's where I see it going. So we're really focusing on that. We just started with our first big roofing client. They do about $50 million a year, and we hope to grow them. And that's kind of what I'm focusing on.
Yeah, that's awesome. Are all those businesses here local, or are you guys working with people all over on that?
Anywhere and everywhere. So we have the first roofing companies out of Texas. We're talking with somebody else in Tennessee. So yeah, I mean, we're just kind of all over the board. I'm also working with some other warranty sellers and providing that service as well, because again, talent and workforce is the biggest pain point that I see, and I think everybody kind of agrees. It's kind of like the old adage, sell the solution, not your product, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of where we are. That's our solution.
So 2 questions come to mind as somebody that has multiple businesses, right? And I think a lot of people aspire to not just be in one business. Maybe they started a business and they're like, hey, this was just my vehicle to be successful, but I want to start something else. I want to get into real estate. I want to do other things.
Sure.
How do you on a daily basis manage the complexity of the moving parts and pieces across all of those things? So
it's not easy, and it's very easy to play favorites, honestly. And true story right now. Now I'll tell you this, in my warranty business, I've been lucky enough and blessed enough to have a very good leadership group, and we spent a lot of time developing it. It didn't happen by accident.
Yes.
It wasn't like, hey, all these 5 people came together, we all meshed together, we all think the same way, we all have the same goals. We're not trying to step on each other's toes. And we spent probably 2 years just creating that bond and creating that meshing of our minds, essentially, on how to be thinking. Like, I'll get the same answer from all 4 people, right? How we did that, or how I did that, is years ago, John Maxwell, are you familiar with him? Yeah. So a friend of mine became a John Maxwell educator, and I paid him at that point in time to kind of go through and take my company at that time through the course, and we did that for, I don't know, maybe a year or so, and we learned a lot from it, but then we kind of stopped and we went away from it. And I think that was like 2016 or 17, maybe. So in 2020, we're 26 now. So 2024, I was like, we kind of all know the basics of what the John Maxwell leadership strategy is, what the mindset is. I was like, let's just all come together and do our own course and hold each other accountable. So what we would do with our leadership group, we get a book that John Maxwell read or wrote, excuse me. And we kind of just followed the same process that our educator did. In the sense, we would find the book that we thought felt our biggest pain point in the company at that point. We get that book, we read a chapter. Next week we talk about it. Yep. How can we deploy this into the company? How can you deploy it into your personal life, et cetera, et cetera. And so that really helped mold us together. And we did that for 2 years. And then out of the success of that, what we would do is recognize employees that were willing to, accept it and willing to participate in it and bring those guys to maybe a group of 5 and do that once a week. And so like one of my people, my leadership team would take those 5 and do the same process, maybe not at the same book, but the same process. And then it just kind of like flows downhill. So it's essentially it's like lead from the seat that you're in. Yep. And so with my warranty stuff, I can have one meeting 1 week and it pretty much runs itself. Yeah. Right. But I'm forever grateful for the people that make that happen. Yeah. It's not me. I mean, maybe was I the driving force behind it? Sure. But they're the ones that really bought into it and did it. So that's how I'm able to now focus on junk wisely.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think a lot of people, so what you just mentioned is you mentioned multiple years, you meant it like to get to that level. You mentioned investing in the team, having the same vision, the core values, the culture. So many people struggle on that in one business and that one business is rocky. And then they're like, hey, I'm going to go start this new thing. And then that's where the chaos really comes in because it's like you have this thing that can't really run on its own and you try to go do something else. Yeah. And that's where chaos happens.
Yeah. And honestly, the biggest thing is also for me, and it took a lot of years because, when I had my opportunity to start my warranty company in 2013, I was like, I'm not messing this up. It's my opportunity. I'm not going to screw this up. Mm-hmm. So I was so hands-on and so micromanaged. I micromanaged everything and I didn't have a lot of trust in people. Yep. And I was fearful somebody was going to try to, take data from me or I don't know. I don't know what I thought. It was probably irrational fears that at the end of the day, if you sit there and think about it, it's going to only hold you back. Yep. And if it happens anyway, you just adjust to it and learn from your mistake and put fail safes in to make it not happen again.
Yeah. And then when you're talking about those different industries, because we're talking about 3 completely different industries. You have the warranty space, you have junk removal and demolition, and then you have AI starting to do that. I'm a big believer, and I would love to get your take on it, is that like business is business 80% of the time. The 20% is junk removal versus warranty versus AI, and then figuring out, the market itself and the competitors and all those different things. But in all those businesses, maybe other than the AI one, you still got to hire people. You still got to get clients. You still got to market. You still got to advertise. You still got to sell. What is your take on what you've been able to maybe bring to like the junk removal space or the AI space that you learn from warranties that most people are like, oh, that's a completely different industry, but the stuff all translates. You just got to figure out what is unique there.
Yeah. So the junk is a great example of that. Junk was one of those things where I was like, okay, I'll get some trucks, I'll hire some people, I'll run some ads, I'll train. We got, how I did it is I kind of went through a consulting process to start the junk. So I kind of had an upper hand, or at least I thought I would. Yep. And it did. It was good. There was a lot of great things I learned from that. But I thought it was kind of like turn it on and let it go. Yeah. Right. Not the case. So right now what I'm really focusing on is I'm a big believer of don't put somebody else out there to do something that you wouldn't do yourself. Yeah. Right. Mm-hmm. So I kind of thought about that. Like in the warranty world, like, yeah, I'm the owner. I'm not getting on a phone call, but I would. Yeah. Right. Like I would. I would believe in that if calls in queue or somebody needed help on a call, I'll take care of it. I'll fix this for you. Yep. Type thing. So believe it or not, we've had some really good peaks in the junk world. We've had some pretty good valleys too. Right. Yeah. And it all comes down to the people. And I'm like, it's easy to blame the people, but then I looked in the mirror and I'm like, no, it's myself, right? Mm-hmm. So for the past month or so, I've been getting on the trucks, showing these guys how to deal with the customer, how to properly quote, how to take care of the equipment. And it's all about leading from the seat that you're in, being the tip of the spear. You just have to sacrifice that. And then you're like, well, why am I doing this? I don't need it. But it will pay off 10 times over any more than well, I shouldn't say leads. Leads are pretty darn good. But what I'm saying is you're going to get your biggest ROI as long as they have the proper training and they know you just don't expect them to go out there and teeth kicked in on a day-to-day basis, because that can happen, and you're just sitting in an office thinking it's easy peasy and yelling at them. You can't do that, right? You gotta be in the trenches with them and let them know that you're willing to do it too. So that's my biggest thing, is like willing to get dirty with them.
So that's something I've been preaching about for a while. I'll go build a website with my team. I'll go hop in the SEO account, do all the strategy. I still lead the strategy in the company. And I'm like, man, I enjoy doing it, but I also enjoy teaching my team and letting my team know that I'm there for them. And I'm not just like, hey, go do all this stuff and I own the business and I'm above X, Y, and Z. And I think that's where a lot of people struggle too, is they think, oh, hey, now I'm the CEO. I have all these employees, and they just assume it's all gonna like work out. Yeah. It's like, man, no, you need the people. Even with AI, like we're using AI in so many different places right now, but it's like the people still need to be in the business to take care of the clients, still do this stuff. Like we're very deep in some of this AI stuff, and it's not perfect. So it's like, if you just let all these things go and do it, like you need people. And I think that's where a lot of businesses have struggled over the last couple of years, where they're like, hey, I need less people, or there's no loyalty. And I love what you said about how you just said, hey, I looked in the mirror and I said, hey, this is me. Right. And taking that extreme ownership and saying, hey, like I'm in control of everything that happens in my company. And I think a lot of people look at entrepreneurship now as this like fad or trend, but then they don't want all the responsibilities to come with it.
There's a lot of responsibility. No, I mean, well, regarding the AI thing, it's funny. I'm like a push and a pull on that, right? Like I'm all about how it can help and what it can help, but it's of my opinion, and I don't know, is the person that's actually doing it personally is going to be better eventually, because everybody's going to be doing the same thing through the AI engines.
Absolutely.
Right? So now, do I agree with that on the voice thing? No, because that's providing a service in that sense. But like content creation, if everybody's using AI, the person that's being authentic and being themselves and being real is going to be the ones that get ahead. Yep. Again, your world is the SEO and the paid ads. I don't know much about that. I know there's a ton of, I see it all the time. Oh, this will run your SEO. This will run your ads. Yeah. Right. And it's like, well, if they're all doing the same thing for me and the guy down the street, what's the differentiator? And like,
it's the same thing as if you hired the same marketing company, right? So like we won't work and do different things with all these other companies. Like I know a guy that literally in St. Louis has 10 different remodeling clients. I'm like, how are you doing something so unique and so different? That's what AI is going to get to, where hey, it all looks the same. It all functions this way. It's like, there's going to be this pop in business where you need people again.
Yeah.
And if you have to reinvent that wheel to go rebuild backup culture and you cut everything out, it's going to be harder to get back, because there's going to be AI in the fold. And then secondarily to that authenticity piece, you cannot recreate that through AI. No. So that's going to be like when I actually made a YouTube video about this. It'll be coming out in a couple weeks, but like when SEO and paid ads started, or even a social media platform comes out, like the people first to market, right, are the ones that are like reaping some of the rewards, because like nobody else is doing it. Right now, kind of the first to market thing is a lot of people getting back and just doing the human thing. Yeah. Because it's so different, even though that sounds crazy, but that's really where we're at.
Yeah, I think what the AI technology a lot is, I hope, changes, because it is real. I mean, not everybody I talk to can be wrong in the sense of saying the workforce has changed. It truly has changed.
100%.
So what I hope it does for, business owners, employers, is it allows them to be very picky and choosy about who they bring in on their team, so that culture is easy to rebuild or build, and then it's easier to recreate that with new people coming in the door.
1,000%.
Right? Because if you're forced to bring in a bunch of people that don't really up to your standard's only going to tank. So I think that's the benefit of the AI stuff I see right now, is it allows the companies to reconfigure themselves to work at a higher level and demand more out of the human employee.
Absolutely.
I think needs to happen.
Yeah.
For sure.
What would you say? I know you mentioned some like peaks and then valleys. Like what were some of the highest of the highs in the journey so far, and some of like the lowest of the lows where you're like, man, is this even worth it?
Oh, wow. Well, there's a lot of those. I'll just speak to Junk personally, or out on that one. We started out in July of 2023, and I think we did so I say started out, like we literally started, our first job was in July 2023. I think we did like 350,000 in sales. So it was a hot start, right?
Wow. Yeah.
Next year we did, so it's like, oh, great. Everything's good.
Mm-hmm.
Next year we did 1 million, or right under 1 million, like 930 or something like that. Mm-hmm. So we're like, this is fantastic. We're buying trucks. We're doing all this stuff.
Yeah.
We're not really making money, but we understand we're not making money because we're just paying to get market share in theory, with ad spend.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it went great, but it's like, okay, you can only spend that for that long. And then you're like, okay, something's got to change here. And then when you pull back so much, then it becomes, when you pull back, then you feel like you're being defeated. You're getting your teeth kicked in. Like this isn't working. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of how I found you, mm-hmm. right? Is because I know this works. It's an easy business. It's an easy business, and there's so much work out there. Yeah. And so you can always get the job as long as you keep going and you build your book of business and your clientele base. But I would say thinking we could just spend all the money and like it would drive all the revenue and it would make it profitable or out of the gate. That was, honestly, when I came and met with you, I guess it was in January or whenever the case was.
Yeah.
I was at that point, I was contemplating, hey, am I going to keep this going or am I going to wrap it up because it's not worth it to me?
Yeah.
And then it's like, honestly, when I get on the trucks and with those guys, I'm like, this is too easy. Yeah. Like this is not hard. There's some days it's stuck. It's going to get hot. Yeah. It's going to get dirty, but this is too easy. So that's kind of a roundabout answer, but the biggest peak is set my expectation too high, or maybe, I don't want to use the word arrogant. It's not arrogance because I'm just excited, or I think the best is going to happen, but it set my expectations too high, and then really going for it, but not staying in the trenches with it to make that happen.
Yeah. And I think that, and somebody told me it the other day, because I made a Facebook post or something along the lines of like, when I was in Nicaragua a couple of weeks ago, I told my team, I'm like, I can be a little bit psychotic, not in a bad way as an entrepreneur, but just like I see the opportunity in literally everything. And someone was like something along the line of some word and then optimistic. And I think that that's like one of the biggest strengths and weaknesses to us as entrepreneurs is we do see the opportunity in so much. And sometimes it's like the give and the take of, how hard am I going to go with this? Versus saying, hey, we're going to do it and we're going to do it over time. And that's where I've had to, both in my business and for my customers and for my team, is try to say like, hey, we're going to go as fast as we possibly can in a calculated approach based on all the data that we have and the technology that we have without trying to go too hard and too much, because it's really hard to go back and overcorrect.
That's right.
And that's the tough part about business.
It's a pacing thing. It's a marathon. Yeah. Make it the fastest marathon you can run, but it's a marathon. And I think I even, we've had a couple conversations on since I started using you. I'm like, hey man, when I turned this thing on day one, I was getting, I was booking all these jobs, and I was watching all the KPIs and things like that. But it was just exciting to get to work, right? Because you're like, oh, this is going to be great. And so it was funny. Even I've called you, like, hey, we're going to really scale this thing quickly. But, even in the past, this past week, honestly, I've seen a big difference. A lot of things we could talk about after the show if you got some time. But it's a lot of positives coming in within the past week or two.
Yeah.
So that's good stuff when it comes to the junk world.
Yeah, that's awesome. What would you say in terms of trying to find and do outside of creative box things from a marketing and branding standpoint? Like, what are some things in the warranty space maybe that you tried, or like, what do you do so differently in that space where you guys have had success, where you're like, hey, I know obviously a lot of it's like picking up the phone and doing it, but is it relationships? Is it networking? Is it research? Like, how are you finding these creative, I guess, like nooks and strategies in order to be successful?
So the warranty world is way different, or at least it's approached 99% of the time, but with the same strategy. And it's push out as much mail as you can and get your people to call. You pick up the phone and answer. I'm working on some things now, and I've always been a more outside of the box thinker. So I've used different technologies to reach customers in a different way. Or I'm really good at working my dead leads, which that's another thing with the AI, not to get off on that tangent.
Yeah, no, I love it.
People just do not work their dead leads. Once it's gone, it's gone. And it's ridiculous. Like it's such a lost revenue, and it's lost revenue and lost cost if you're paying for ads, right?
Yeah.
So, what I'm really good at recapturing people we missed, and that's what I do. Some other things that we're looking at doing. There are a couple big players in the warranty space that do TV.
Yeah.
I've never done that. I'm kind of getting into a position where I think I'm probably going to be able to do that, and it's something that's pretty near and dear to my heart. Is I think we're going to partner up with a veterans nonprofit and put some proceeds towards that, which I think that's a really good thing at this point in time. It lets us give back, and that also gives people a good feeling about doing business with us. And I like that idea, and it's a very good one. So.
Yeah. Have you heard of over-the-top advertising, OTT?
Why do I feel like I have? I don't know.
So that's that would maybe be an angle that I'd recommend for that. So that's where you can go and buy ad space on like Hulu, Disney.
Yes.
ESPN.
Yeah.
So we're seeing targeted ads like when my wife and I are watching, or when I was streaming a game the other night. That's like, man, this is crazy. It's like companies I've never seen before, but they're local companies or national companies. Yeah. They're buying that space because it's way less expensive than traditional TV.
I think I keep getting fed one called Vibe.com or something.
That's the one.
That's how I know it. I went down the rabbit hole the other day. I'm like, okay,
that could be an interesting thing, because what I love about that versus traditional TV is you can also target just specific neighborhoods of X, Y, and Z value. There's a lot more targeting, and some of the data that those companies have, they have it, I have no idea, is nuts.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great. That's funny. I've been looking at that, so it could be good for a couple of different things.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome. What are you most excited about? I mean, you got these 3 different businesses. You kind of talked about some of the evolution. Obviously, we have the AI stuff over here. What are you most excited about, like finishing out the rest of this year and then heading into the future of like what you're building with this, 3-headed monster probably continuing to grow?
Yeah, I mean, so in the warranty space, I don't want to get into the real details because nobody would really gather, right?
Yeah.
But cutting away some third party people that have to be involved in our business is essentially like a finance company for our customers. That would be key to me. That's probably our biggest cost and the biggest speed bump that we can get rid of. And been working on that since September. It takes a ton of money. You have to be able to finance your customer's policy for 24 months. So it's big. It takes a lot of capital to make that work. But I've been fortunate to fall into the right hands with some good people, and I think we're close to that. That will allow me to grow exponentially and also allow me like the TV stuff and really become a big player. Junk, just get it back to what it was, but number one, making it like very, very profitable, not just operating, but operating at a break even, but being very profitable. There's been a lot of thought about doing dumpsters, which I've talked to you about. That's something I'm really kicking around. I think it's a good business. It's a competitive business, and that's kind of why I'm like weighing that out.
The
AI is the sky's the limit. Like it really is the limit. I have 2 good partners in that, and they're, the good thing is we're not, everything's referral based. We're getting very good potential customers in that, and going through the whole discovery phase with all of them and see how we can really build out. Because what we like to do is tailor that specific to your business. So it's not like a canned service, really. It's like, I don't know, where's your pain point, right? How can we fix it? And I guess the most exciting thing is, most of the stuff I'm doing regarding the AI is it only makes people more money or saves them money. It doesn't cost them anything. So I like that.
That's incredible. As we're kind of finishing up this episode, what's a big piece of advice, maybe something we talked about that you just want to hit home, or maybe something we didn't talk about, to an entrepreneur that's out there? Maybe they're like struggling to find their way, or they're going, on a downturn, and they need to like reinvent themselves or reinvent their business. What's that one thing that you feel like, from your experience, from what you've learned, would be something you pass along to them and say, hey, it's going to be okay. Like, you're going to find your way out of it, but here's what I would tell you.
Well, it's funny. Interestingly enough, I saw something yesterday, and I think this is a good way to put it is, stay true to your vision, but be flexible on how you get there.
I love that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like don't deviate from what you're trying to do, but if something a wrench gets thrown in the mix, you're just going to adapt and figure it out. Nothing's the end of the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but never lose your vision and make the hard days, get through the hard days. Every day's easier after that, right? like yesterday, for example. Well, I'll give you 2 examples this week. I was on the junk truck twice this week. Actually, I took my son out. He's on spring break. So for him, he's working on spring break, but he wants to make some money.
Yeah.
Day one, huge job, big day coming up. One of our biggest days we've had this year. You know, I think it's like, going to be like a $4,000 day.
Yeah.
Flat tire at the dump. I could have threw my hands up in the air. So I started thinking, I said, hey, how can I fix this? Like it was so flat that it was off the beat of the wheel, right? So it's not like I just go to the gas station, put some air in it. Realized my cousin's body shop's down the road. Called, hey, can I come down and we'll try to work this out? We MacGyvered the tire back on, got it up and running, finished the day out strong. That's just one example. In the moment where I just wanted
to like break it all.
God, yeah. Yesterday, took my son back out on a job. Did our first job. We had a big clean out after that, like big $3,000 job. So, okay, another good day. This is exciting, right? Because we haven't had these days in a while. Summer's coming, or spring's here, summer's coming. So things are starting to open up. After the first job got, battery's dead. Truck's in a position, and I knew the battery was probably shot. Truck's in a position where you can't even jump start it because it's on the curb and it's a big, heavy truck. You're not going to roll it out. So call somebody up. Hey, man, can you bring me a battery? So I just sat there, got some sun on the face, swapped the battery out in 5 minutes and back on with their day. Yeah. So, man, it's not letting those small things bother you. And honestly, if you're an entrepreneur, your whole job is just to fix problems. Yeah. And they might be internally, they might be externally, they might be for a customer, client, whatever the case is. So,
man, that's great advice. And I love how you shared those 2 examples just from this. Yeah. It's like, man, it goes like when good things start to happen, then all of a sudden, and then it's just like this balancing act, like you mentioned, is like you are going to be, and I think somebody said it to me years ago, and they probably heard it from somewhere, but like the amounts of money that you can and will make will be directly correlated to the level and the magnitude of the problems that you solve and the solutions that you provide. And it's couldn't be further from the truth. It's like, man, like there's so much opportunity out here, especially with AI and all the technology and stuff. Like if you're not being successful, it's like there's something you need to work on to go do it, because as you mentioned, like it's in your hands.
Yeah, you just have to keep an open mind and open eyes. You'll find it, and then once you get the opportunity, don't squander it. Yeah. You know? So
that's awesome, man. Well, where can people stay connected with you and then all the different businesses as well?
Well, I mean, you can find Junk Wisely, junkwisely.com. We have social media. It's all the same for every platform. Junk Wisely. I'm Chris Huddleston. I'm that same on Instagram, Facebook, any of that stuff. I need to work on building that stuff up. I used to have a pretty big thing, and then I kind of, and that's a tough one. We could talk about another day. But, so Junk Wisely, junkwisely.com, and on all the socials, and then Chris Huddleston, essentially. Yeah. And then I'll be dropping. We just came up with our AI name and logo, so that's about to deploy here. So
nice. Well, when that's ready, we'll drop it in the show notes and start promoting that for you, man. That's Thank you so much for coming in, man. I'm glad we had the opportunity to have the conversation, and awesome. Really appreciate you, man.
Great, man. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you so much for watching or listening to today's episode. Make sure to go follow Chris, Junk Wisely, and stay tuned with all the stuff that is coming down the AI pipeline. We'll put all of that in the show notes. If you're watching this video on YouTube, make sure to subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, like the video, all that good stuff. And on the podcasting platform of your choice, if you're listening to this, make sure to subscribe to the episodes as well. Share this content on social media. It helps us get this information out to more people that need to hear it. Thank you so much for watching or listening to today's episode, and we'll see you next week. Remember, authority isn't built overnight, it's built over time.
Thanks so much for tuning into this episode. We sure do appreciate it. If you haven't done so already, make sure you're subscribed to the show wherever you consume podcasts. This way you'll get notifications as new episodes become available. If you feel so inclined, please leave us a review. We sure do appreciate it. Until next time, friends.